Before Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions, the greatest block in Minnesota Vikings history was not even up for discussion. It belonged to former Los Angeles Rams, former Minnesota Viking, former Houston Tech, and now again a Minnesota Viking, Cam Akers. I've played it for you before. We've talked about it before. In the Minnesota Vikings revenge game against the Houston Texans when Cam Akers was part of the team just a few weeks ago, I talked about the greatest block in Vikings history. Cam Akers drills number 75, pummels them, clobbers them. It's just one of the greatest blocks in Minnesota Vikings history. And if you're not watching on YouTube, I'd suggest you watch this podcast on YouTube. Joshua Dobbs scrambles to his right against the Atlanta Falcons. Cam Akers lowers his shoulder into a defensive tackle from the Atlanta Falcons. Big number 75. And completely takes his feet off the turf. The guy is in midair for a moment because 5'10" Cam Akers clobbered the crap out of him. Steps over him, points at him. Say, yeah, I got you. That was the greatest block in Minnesota Vikings history up until this point, because now it has competition. Did you see Christian Darrisaw's block on Sunday against the Detroit Lions? Take a look at this one. This might be better than Cam Akers. He pushes the guy to the side, comes back, and gets the other guy on the other side. Christian Darrisaw not only noticed what was happening, but had the athletic ability to turn his shoulders around and sprint to get the guy coming on the other side. And what do you call that? A stunt? A defensive line stunt? The Lions ran a stunt against the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. And Christian Darrisaw pushes the guy in front of him to his right. While the other guy is coming around, he manages to somehow turn his shoulders and knock number 54 out of the way so Sam Darnold can step up in a clean pocket and deliver a big-time third down conversion to Aaron Jones. Which block is better? This is a tough one for me because Cam Akers, his block, freed up Josh Dobbs to get 3 or 4 more yards. It's definitely the more appealing block because you got someone that's 5'10", and he just crushes a guy that weighs probably twice as much as he does. But Christian Darrisaw, you never see offensive linemen make a play like this. They try to, but they're too slow. And Christian Darrisaw was athletic enough to shove a guy to his right and then somehow managed to flip his shoulders and push the defensive lineman over to his left, which was a huge third down completion to Aaron Jones. Now, the question that I'm struggling to answer is, I know the game was just on Sunday, but did the Minnesota Vikings convert this third down conversion into a touchdown? I don't know. Was it a field goal? I don't know. I don't know what happened after this. Same thing with Joshua Dobbs, because that might be the answer that we're looking for. Josh Dobbs, after he scrambled to his right and Cam Akers laid a blow on the defensive tackle from the Atlanta Falcons, was that an important yardage situation where it's like, okay, this block helps free Josh Dobbs for 10 more? No, it's like 3 or 4 more yards. But did that help the Minnesota Vikings win that football game against the Atlanta Falcons? Was that a big part of the game? Or was this a bigger part of the game? Because if the Minnesota Vikings converted this into a touchdown, well, that's a big block. And because of Christian Darrisaw's athleticism and awareness, That's what made that block so sensational, is that he put both of those things together. What made Cam Akers' block so amazing is that he's 5'10". The other guy weighs 200 more pounds than he does. And he put his body on the line to take out the defensive tackle. So if you held a gun to my head and you made me choose which block was more important or more valuable or just more fun to watch, it's hard not to pick the Cam Akers block because of his size and what he did to the defensive tackle. It's just more eye-appealing. And Spud Webb, the tiny guard, participated in the dunk contest. It's just more appealing versus when a 6'9", 7'11" guy does it. A dunk from Michael Jordan, who was 6'6", looks way cooler than a dunk from LeBron James, who's 6'8", 6'9", or even Kevin Durant, who's basically a 7-footer. It's just fun to see smaller guys lay blows or smaller guys jump because you don't necessarily expect it. It looks nice to the eye. Your eye gravitates towards stuff like that. So I think I'm going to pick the Cam Akers block. Hit that subscribe button right there. Thank you for making this podcast part of your day.